it's Decklist TCG here, and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. On this video, we're going to be seeing a lot of great deck lists. We're going to be checking out the top 10 deck lists with Twilight Masquerade. If we're taking a look at some Japanese results, we already see which decks are more popular, which decks are converting more into that top 16 in the city leagues, and all that good stuff. So today, we're going to be seeing the top 10 best decks. We're going to be getting, of course, deck lists, and we're going to be ranking them from 10 all the way to number 1. Of course, if you guys are hyped for this video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Only requires 1 tiny second of your time and does help out the channel tremendously. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because 65% of the people watching the daily uploads are actually not subscribed. So that's actually quite mind-boggling if we're taking a look at the analytics. So yeah, be sure to recheck if you are subscribed. With that being said, we're going to be, of course, thanking our sponsors first that make these videos possible. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. You can use the coupon ZABLOOS5 to get 5% off on everything on the website. There's yourplaymat.com, where you're able to create your own unique custom playmat. Super dope if you would do so. PokemonStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can use the coupon ZABLOOSTCG for 5% off on everything on the website. And of course, cardmarket.com. If you're a European player, you can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZABLOOSTCG. With that being said, we're going to be talking about number 10 first, so if you guys are hyped, let me know. Number 10 here is Gardevoir EX. This deck actually is still doing quite well. I know we have a jamming tower in the format, that new stadium that locks away the effects of tool cards, which is very bad because this deck actually revolves around a lot of HP buffers with Luxurious Escape, with Bravery Charm, TM Evolution, TM Devolution in here as well. I think TM Devolution by itself is a card that is being having uses in a lot of archetypes out there. You can use this to counter Chien-Pao. You can use this to counter stuff like Charizard as well. So the TM Devolution, a very strong tool card for sure. Definitely if you're playing that Arven package. There's also a Monkey Dory in this deck list. I don't know if you've noticed, but that actually is the card, the monkey on the right top corner here. If there's Darkness Energy attached to that Monkey Dory, you can actually move 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to your opponent's Pokemon. So that's actually going to be helping out to get some damage fix going around. So something like a Drifloon can easily one-shot 330 HP Pokemon like Charizard EX, for example. So that is super cool for sure. So the list is still revolving around TM Evolution, evolving your Royals all the way into Kirlia. You have some Flutter Mains in here. You might even flip-flop a Flutter Main for a Klefki if you want to, but the Flutter Main is in here, of course, to shut down the opponent's Pokemon in the active from using their abilities. Think about Shivery Chill. Any ability in the active will be negated because of Flutter Main. You can shut down specific archetypes a little bit with that while you are waiting to, of course, establish your board state with Curiosity. You also still have the most broken ability in the game with Psychic Embrace, infinitely accelerating energies from the discard pile to your Psychic Pokemon in return of putting 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. And now, with Unfair Stamp, the ACE SPEC card of choice, you can have yourself the extra time, because if you're able to use that very easily searchable through the means of Arven, you can put the opponent to a 2-card hand while you refresh your hand as well, and progress your board state more with refinements and trying to, of course, get as many psychic energies in that discard pile ASAP. And because the list is actually playing Earthen Vessel, finding that one of Darkness Energy to activate the Monkey Dory out there is actually super nice. Other than that, it's just the deck we come to familiar with throughout its lifespan. There's Turo in there. You might think about cutting the Collapse, actually cutting the Temple of Sinnoh to, of course, introduce the Collapse Stadium in this list. It all depends on your situation. So Gardevoir still hanging on there in the number 10 spot. Also, if your favorite deck is not mentioned here, be sure to let me know in the comments below why you would put a specific deck in the top 10 over another. Now, with that being said, we're going to number 9 here with Gholdengo. Gholdengo is an interesting one, isn't it? It actually is a deck that always seems to be falling in the shadows of Chien-Pao. The deck actually is super cool because you do have access to Irida, fetching yourself Prime Catcher. And this list is actually not playing any Cypher Maniacs deciphering, so that's pretty interesting. It's based on a successful list from Japan, winning, of course, a City League. And it is actually playing an Enhanced Hammer, which is very good because you will see that Enhanced Hammer will have its usage with Neo Upper Energy being played in decks, with, of course, Legacy Energy being introduced for the Lugia archetype. So Enhanced Hammer can really help out. Also can allow you to discard double Turbo Energy. So Enhanced Hammer, very strong, definitely if you have Irida at your disposal. You might think, why do we still play Spiritomb when, of course, decks like Mew V Max have rotated a long time ago? Well, the Spiritomb is very good because there's a lot of Rotom V over in the deck list. Think about Charizard, think about Dragapult. They're all playing like that draw engine of the Rotom, and the Spiritomb can easily shut that down. So you buy yourself some more time with these more aggressive Stage 2 decks that require Rotom to fetch themselves the Arven or the Rare Candy to just evolve their board state. I do love Prime Catcher Cologne combos here for sure, definitely with the Subspace Well, Palkia V-Star, and the Star Portal, getting the energies to the Greninja here to, of course, use the Moonlight Shuriken to take 2 prize cards instantly, and with 11 energies in the deck, and with some Turboist oomph to the deck with Tracking Shoes and Pokestop, you can find your items very easily, and with 3 Earthen Vessels, this is a deck purely based on getting these fellas out. I wouldn't blame you if you cut down the Prime Catcher and added in the ACE SPEC Hyper Aroma, the ACE SPEC that allows you to get 3 stage 1s. You could introduce that as well, but Prime Catcher really works out perfectly for your gusting capabilities. But yeah, that's also something you could go for. Number 8. Yeah, this is going to be Control. Control actually gains a couple of new friends, and in the form of the Bloodmoon Ursaluna, a 260 HP monstrous Pokemon, which you will see countless of amounts in decks. You will see 1 copy of Bloodmoon Ursaluna because the card inherently is just that strong. With its ability, you need 1 colorless energy less for its attack for every prize card the opponent has taken. Very similar to a Radiant Charizard. But the good news is, it is only requiring colorless energies, which means you can actually go with the double turbo energy as well, which means if the opponent has taken 3 prize cards, you can actually start swinging with it for 220 damage because of the DTE, 240 if you actually are not counting the DTE damage reduction. So this actually is a card very easily pennyable. I don't even know if that's a word, but you can use penny time and time again, definitely with Hero Escape. Attack with the Bloodmoon Ursaluna, you get damage, you penny it back up, promote Pidgeot EX, then retreat and slap with it again. So Bloodmoon Ursaluna, coming packed with 360 HP because of Hero Escape, can definitely perform miracles. Luxury also part of the squad here, being able to slap that into play as soon as the opponent, if you're behind in prize cards to be honest, and then you can actually start swinging with it, and Luxury pretty much eats up opposing Pidgeot EXs. Pidgeot EX, you'll see that in a lot of popular archetypes. So we do see here Mist Energies on combination, so there is no Noivern in here because Alessandro Crimo stole his list over from EOIC. We did see that there was some Noivern situations in here, and now basic decks are a little bit becoming less and less viable, and the more popular archetypes are evolution-based decks, more in particularly Stage 2 decks, which is very cool to see this meta shaping up. So we have Snorlax with the block, being able to, of course, win if the opponent is out of switch cards. You can make sure that happens with Eerie to discard some switch outs. You can also use Misfortune Sisters, and Erica's Invitation helps out to put a Pokemon instantly from their hand onto the bench, and that's going to be very, very good for sure. And with Chio, you can proactively mill cards from the opponent's deck as well. So you have Radiant Charizard, and you also have Bloodmoon Ursaluna, depending on which archetype you're up against. You can just loop the Blood Moon and just take all the prize cards with that specific card by itself. You could also do it with Charizard, but the Charizard will go down. Then you need to have a recovery with something like Silene, which makes things a little bit more hard. Also, we have this Cornerstone Ogerpon EX. This is a fighting type Pokemon, but its ability is just that strong. It states everything that has an ability cannot touch the Cornerstone, so that's very cool in archetypes that are just purely run on Pokemon with abilities. Sometimes a Chien-Pao only has like Chien-Pao, and of course the one and only Baxcalibur that can attack. Sometimes the Iron Hands is priced, or their Lightning Energy is priced, and then the Cornerstone can just run away with the game. It's also very easily, if you just want to buy some time, just retreat into it and just wait a little bit until you have developed your Pidgeots and all that. So Control in a great spot right now, currently standing at the number 8 spot. Number 7 is going to be Chien-Pao. I know, you might think, why is Chien-Pao that low? Well, it gets caught in the crossfire of Dragapult being able to perfectly snipe 60 damage counters. I know now we are forced to play 70 HP Frigibacks again, which makes it all very tricky, because with 2 retreat costs, the Frigibacks are not Pokemon you want to be starting with. Same story goes for the Bibarel. This is a 3-3 Bibarel engine, and also plays a 70 HP Bidoof just for that Dragapult matchup, because if they don't survive, you actually just lose on the spot. Other than that, there's an Enhanced Hammer package in here, so you can fetch it out with Irida, and all the rest of the cards are pretty straightforward. We do have one boss, one prime catcher, one counter catcher, and that should be enough to last yourself through the game. So you draw cards with the B-Barrel, you have Chivalry Chill to get energies from the deck, Greninja to draw power, and yeah, to draw cards with its concealed cards, and then yeah, Baxcalibur allowing to accelerate the energies freely. So yeah, Chien-Pao still around, currently stranded at the number 7 spot. Number 6 goes to the one and only Lost Box, or actually Turbo Lost Zone Box deck. This also gains the power of Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX. Now you have the best of both worlds because you no longer need the Radiant Charizard in your Lost Box deck. You can now purely benefit from the fact that you can play Radiant Greninja. Not only do you have the draw power with concealed cards, you also come back with Moonlight Shuriken, being able to Mirage Gate and attach of the turn to the Greninja here, being able to of course use Moonlight Shuriken ASAP with the high amount of Lost Vacuums in here. And of course the Forest Seal Stone, which is the target for Raikou. You're going to be easily getting to 7 cards in the Lost Zone. Then you can activate Mirage Gate and start swinging with either Radiant Greninja, with a Raikou, even with a Bloodmoon Ursaluna a little bit earlier than you might anticipate. And of course Roaring Moon EX, not only with Calamity Storm, but with the Frenzied Gouging against specific archetypes as well. Currently, this is a very strong Lost Box deck, and yeah, I really think that it is deserving its spot here in the top 10 for sure. We have, of course, we had the 10, 9, 8, 7. This is on the number 6 spot, but I think if people practice a lot with this, you can go very deeply into tournaments. Then we are halfway there. The number 5, we have the Future Box. Future Box, or actually Turbo Iron Hands, gets a new body in the form of Iron Torrents EX. Iron Torrents EX, one of the most disruptive Pokemon you could start with its Initialize ability. You can actually shut down all the opponent's Pokemon that have rule boxes. Think about Pidgeot EX, forget about it. Think about, yeah, Radiant Greninja, forget about it. Think about Charizard EX with Infernal Rain, forget about it. So you do have ways to slow the opponent down with, of course, the Iron Torrents. Of course, the opponent can gust around it, but they would need a gust at that specific point in time, and they cannot even use Luminion for it, which just makes it even more beautiful. So we, of course, know that Iron Hands is very strong with the MP very much. We're going to be amplifying that with, of course, yeah, the Miraidon, powering that up. You also have electric generators. This list is actually kind of strange because it actually plays only 3 electric generators. I would yeah, get rid of the Fresh Water set. The reason why Fresh Water set is in here is just to counter the Dragapult currently that is running wild in the format, so they're sprinkling around some damage here and there. With Fresh Water set, you can heal all of them off, which is great because typically they just make sure you're at 200 HP remaining, and the Fresh Water set being able to search that out with Arven can definitely help out with that fact. So that's why it is in there. You could flip that out to a 4th generator or cut another card for it, maybe a Techno Raider or whatever you feel like, but maybe the Vacuum even. So to get a 4th copy, you don't always need it because you of course can fetch it with the Arven, and there is also the capability to charge up with the yeah, accelerator, peak acceleration with the Miraidon there. So cool to see that the list is still working perfectly, and taking 2 prize cards every single time does feel pretty nice. You have Counter Catcher and a high amount of Bosses orders. Number 4 is going to be, yeah, Lost Zone Giratina. This deck doesn't seem to be going anywhere soon, and you also gain Bloodmoon Ursaluna again, and a Pokemon that can attack when the opponent says like, oh, you can only like spit innocently of a Cramorant or just sprinkle around with Sableye because I one-shotted your only Giratina V, and that's where you're wrong, because you can actually slap down your Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX, slap down the Mirage Gate onto it, and off you go. You have a strong hitting Pokemon right there. With, of course, Temple of Sinnoh, you could, yeah, slow down a couple of Pokemon decks that rely on these special energies, Neo Upper Energy, Legacy Energy, etc. Also, the Double Turbo Energy could be popping up in specific decks here and there. So, Temple of Sinnoh seems to be the main stadium in the format currently, because that's one of the decks that can actually benefit from it, because you use Jet Energy, get all your stuff done. At one point, you don't need the switch effect any longer from the Jet Energy, and then you can slap down Temple of Sinnoh in combination with Roxanne. Can slow down a lot of archetypes for sure. The list hasn't changed all that much. We cut down the Iron Leaves because Charizard will no longer be the #1 deck in town, and that means that you do have the free space to add in the one and only Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX with a monstrous 260 HP. Continuing on the top 3, number 3 is Charizard EX in my opinion. This is based on, of course, Thor's winning 60, no Cleffa in there. You do have the 1/1 B-Barrel, and as you see here, the 70 HP Charmander gets more and more popular as we continue on because Dragapult is lurking around the corner to snipe the 60 HP basics, and that's why 70 HP Charmanders, as predicted, will become more and more popular. You cannot do that with the Pidgeys. Pidgeys have 50 or 60 HP, and the Colorful family is obviously way better. You can also not stop the power of the Dragapult, so no need to like attack in Giratina and all that stuff. You will eventually get sniped away regardless. So we do have Rotom, we have Lumineon. There's also a Kieran in here. The Kieran is the new supporter, allowing you to slap 30 additional damage to your opponent's EX or V Pokemon. With Lumineon, you can search that out to instantly make sure you slap enough damage. You have Defiance Band, you have Maximum Bout, so you slap enough damage against most archetypes in the format with your Charizard, and you will also need proactively to slap more and more damage. Maximum Bout in combination with Kieran allows you to hit for an additional 80 damage, and that could really help out if you want to knock out a stage 2 EX a little bit earlier in the game. So very cool for sure. Mist Energies do protect yourself from the effects of the opponent's TM Evolution, for example, so that's definitely an interesting card to be including into your Zard list. So also with Eerie and a lot of stage 2 decks out there, you're definitely not gonna be missing that card. Yeah, you really want it in the deck because it's very disruptive for sure. Number 2 is Lugia VSTAR. This is back from the past, I would say. Like in the past, I put like Lugia down a little bit down, even to like tier 2, but now it's back tier 1. Lugia VSTAR with the help of Legacy Energy. Legacy Energy is ridiculous. Legacy Energy just states, it actually is just crazy. If the opponent knocks you out, they take 1 fewer prize card. So pretty much live do into an energy, and not only that, it counts as every specific energy simultaneously, meaning that you can actually put it onto your Cornerstone EX if you want to use that in specific matchups that are actually required and a lot of abilities. You can use that. You can use it on Iron Hands to be taking 2 prize cards, and also this deck gains the Wellspring Ogerpon EX that allows you to snipe out of nowhere. So now you can snipe again with Lugia. You can wall off with with the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX. You can take multiple prize cards with Ampy very much. It is starting to look like old school Lugia VSTAR from back in the days of Silver Tempest, where you had Stoutland take an additional prize card, Amazing Rare Raikou taking additional prizes as well. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Lugia is back, and it is currently on my number 2 slot here. There's 2 copies of Jacques in here to make sure you do get those Archeops from the deck and you're able to discard them. You have in the late game Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX, which only requires a low amount of energy, so you will not run out of energies. And there is a Flutter Mane in here. You might think, why is Flutter Mane in this deck? Well, that is for situations where you're up against an Iron Thorns EX deck and you don't have a way to flip over the VSTAR token. You need to have the Flutter Mane in the active position so you can actually slap down that VSTAR, and you can use Summoning Star. So that's why the Flutter Mane is in there for the people that were wondering. And you also have a Torton, which actually means you can out of nowhere transform into any Pokemon you want. Maybe your Lumineon transform into a Minccino to instantly evolve. Maybe you want to be reusing some of these Pokemon that have been knocked out. So Lugia, very crazy, and it's very powerful once again with all these different options. Variety is always the key to success. Then number 1 goes to, the menace of the format, the gatekeeper of rogue decks, Dragapult EX. Dragapult EX, what can I say? It is just really insane that this card has the damage counters that you can flip around. So you slap 200 damage with its attack, the Phantom Dive, and you also are able to put 6 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon wherever you feel like. So that could set up KOs very easily, and people have to attack against it, like as we saw in that Future Box deck, playing of course that Freshwater set. There's very hard to stop this. There is of course a grass type stage 1 Pokemon in the format allowing you to prevent all the damage counters from being placed, but the problem is that it comes from a weak HP Pokemon that can get sprinkled, so there is that. And you do have the Tatsugiri in here as well. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. You can find a supporter card. Actually, you can take a supporter card you find there and put it in hand, so you do have some protection against Iono. You have built-in draw power with the Dracloak. Looking at the top 2 cards of the deck, select 1 to the hand, 1 goes to the bottom of the deck. So built-in draw power with Dracloak, sniping capabilities, and setting up KOs simultaneously with Dragapult EX. You only need a low amount of energies. You can rely on the Neo Upper Energy. If you survive a hit, then you can manually attach. There's Enhanced Hammer to slow opponents down. You have TM Devolution to slow opponents down and then devolve them while you sprinkle around all the damage counters. You even have Mela to instantly accelerate an energy if you go down. So there's a lot of options. Definitely with Luminium being able to fetch that is great. And as mentioned, Rotom V is in this deck, just like the Charizard deck, just to draw cards so you can find your rare candies to, of course, evolve into Pidgeot EX. And Pidgeot EX can find any card you want. And there's also Collapse Stadium for some prize denial. So yeah, Dragapult pretty much has it all, has no weakness. It is a dragon type, so for me, that is the best deck with, of course, Twilight Masquerade. Also showing that with the results of the Japanese City League. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It helps out in ridiculous ways. You have no idea. I'm always super grateful if you would do so. Only requires 1 tiny second of your time. And yeah, also check out the sponsors that make the videos possible, dragonshield.com. If you're looking for sleeves, binders, and deck boxes, use that coupon ZAPLOOS5 to get 5% off on everything on the website. There's yourplaymat.com to create your own unique custom playmat. PotanStore.com if you are looking for TCG Live code cards, 5% off on everything on the website, and cardmarket.com for European players where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. So use the referral name ZAPLOOSTCG to help support the channel. With that being said, as mentioned, 65% of the people that are watching the uploads are not subscribed. So be sure to recheck if you are subscribed so you don't miss any future content. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG madness. Peace.